welcome back to Crown Conditioning, a series where I help you learn the basics of being a title holder in the Miss America Scholarship Organization. I am your host, Avery Bishop, Miss Texas 2022. Today's episode, categories of competition. What are they? Because it feels like Miss America has been in a constant period of change for the past decade. So by the time you watch this, these percentages and categories might be completely different. But here, for now, are the basics of the categories of competition for the Miss America Scholarship Competition. I just want to love you. I just want to love you. All right, episode 4, categories of competition. Let's jump into it. I'll try to keep this video under 10 minutes. Let me preface this by saying I competed in Miss Texas, and sometimes the way that the competition is scored might be different from state to state. So if you're watching this and you're not from Texas, always use the resources from your state competition on their website, just in case. All right, whenever you begin to compete in Texas, we have usually 2 prelim nights and then 1 final night. Here is how the preliminary scoring works for those 2 nights. During preliminary competitions, your private interview is 30%, on-stage question is 10%, health and fitness, which is new, 20%, talent or her story is 20%, and evening wear is 20%. Now, again, I write preliminary percentages up here because they change. Ooh. On the final night of competition, a minimum of 12 contestants, maybe 15, depending if Miss Texas is feeling saucy that year, will be named as semifinalists and compete in the final competition events. The semifinalists include the contestants with the highest preliminary competition scores and 2 People's Choice winners. Again, this might be different from state to state. The People's Choice winners may already be among the semifinalists selected by the judges' scoring. After your prelim week, night, how many days you compete for preliminaries, then you're going to break into finals. The amount of final candidates depends again on where you are competing. You are going to take, or they are going to take, your state board, whoever is putting your scores together, 30% of your composite score from prelims, from your prelim performance. Let's go back. So they're going to take all of this right here, and they're going to take 30% of that number after they calculate all this together. They're going to take that, determine who is in the top 12, top 15. Then you're going to compete again. Compete again. But don't worry, you're going to compete in the same categories of competition. Okay, there's no brand new category when you make the top 12/15. On-stage question is 10%, health and fitness is 20%, talent or her story is 20%, and evening wear is 20%. This is where it gets a little funky wonky. And if you're brand new, this took me a hot second to understand. The top 5 scoring blew my mind. And if you still don't understand what it means, it's okay. It doesn't really affect you. Just compete in a confident and comfortable manner and you'll be good to go. So the points earned prior to the final ballot determine the top 5 contestants, and each judge will rank the final 5 finalists on the final ballot individually in the order in which they believe each finalist should place or can do the job of Miss Texas. The point totals from the final ballot alone determine the outcome of the new Miss Texas. So essentially, when you get to the top 5, right, they're not scoring or placing your composite scores, your preliminary scores into some sort of scoring system. You can be the most technically perfect in all categories during prelims, for example, and may end up not winning after the top 5 ballot. This essentially gives the judge an opportunity to really ask themselves, their overall impression of you during the whole week, and if you can just get the job done. Top 5, they look at you, they ask themselves, can she be Miss Texas? And sure, they're thinking about like what they scored you technically in the prelims, but final 5, they just rank you. A little scary, but it's kind of fun because you just never know. That's what keeps everyone on their toes. I'm going to go into each category briefly because I'm then going to make an episode dedicated to each category of competition. Private interview, what's brand new this year? 30-second opening, 9-minute Q&A with an optional 30-second wrap-up or closing statement. Don't let optional fool you. You should take that optional closing statement. I don't think anybody does not. I don't know anyone who doesn't take that 30 seconds to wrap up or finish a question or give a practiced closing. Private interview is my favorite category of competition. It's the way to show a glimpse into who you are and your personality, because oftentimes judges don't know who you are and can't really gain that from watching you on stage. This is 30% of your score. There will be someone usually in your room that is going to be keeping track of time, so you don't have to worry about that. And you can be asked pretty much anything. I was asked in my most recent Miss America interview at Nationals, what is the dopest thing about America? And then we talked about abortion, immigration, and inflation. So usually at state level, it's not as politically tumultuous, but they will likely ask you current events that's going on in the state or the community that you represent. All right, health and fitness. This is me running my very first marathon. And at the time, I wasn't even competing in the Miss America system or whatever. I just wanted to do something very hard and be strong. And I thought that people who completed marathons were very strong people. I actually finished the race alongside an 82-year-old woman who has done 20 marathons. It was an amazing experience. Anyways, health and fitness. This is new. My condolences if you were in the middle of this season and then surprise, health and fitness. This is a sticky subject for some candidates, and since this is a general informational video, I will reserve my opinion in a different video at a different time. But health and fitness is 20% of your score. In Texas, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a 20 to 30 second pre-blocked high energy stage routine with movement and posing. Don't hold me to this, but you will likely not be doing push-ups like what the teens were doing. And honestly, like, who wants to sit there and watch someone like for like 25 minutes? Like, it's not entertaining. So this is just really for you to show off your confidence and how strong you are. Okay? Yeah. Not much to say here. And hopefully you will have different options of coverage for your sportswear. That depends on your state. Talent and herstory. Another one of my favorite categories. Talent and you know what? Talent. I don't care. Talent is 20%. Her story, I guess, is like a speech, which a speech is still a talent, so I don't know why they had to differentiate that. Each delegate shall present a talent selection not to exceed 90 seconds per delegate. Emphasis on not to exceed. That means you don't have to go to 90 seconds. If you are a tumbler and you want to be able to wow the judges in the first minute and do all of your fancy tricks in just 1 minute, 10 seconds, then you don't have to do all 90 seconds. A talent must be either a performance talent, which is listed on the Miss America organization approved performance talent list, or be in compliance with the guidelines of the Her Story stage presentation. I guess it's like a TED Talk. And then if it's not listed, you got to go get approval, whatever. Fortunately for you, I looked at the list and pretty much anything you can think of is on there except for like equestrian. You can't ride a horse on the stage. Okay, I'm sorry. But here are some options you can do. Obviously, I did musical theater on my own from Les Mis. Opera, instruments, gymnastics, stand-up comedy, dramatic reading, roller coasters, roller skating, balancing acts, juggling, unicycling. I would like to see that happen. I would really love to see that happen. Think outside the box. If you don't think you have a talent, I think this is probably one of the most difficult categories to get through if you're brand new or are thinking about competing. It's always like, I don't have a talent, so I'm not going to ever try Miss America. You don't have a talent? Look at this list. You're telling me you can't do one of these things? Yes, you can. And also, you can go up there and give your presentation of her story and give a presentation of your journey and experience and all that stuff. So you can do it. Don't let talent dissuade you from joining. On stage question. All right. This question will be asked on stage. It is 10% of your score, and it is not to exceed 20 to 30 seconds. And the preliminary conversation question per Miss America will be a single question asked on stage regarding the delegates' community service initiative. and the response should not be longer than 30 seconds. Sometimes there'll be a countdown a countdown clock from stage that you can see. Sometimes you won't. The first 2 years I competed at Miss Texas, we had a timer, and the last year we didn't. We did not have a time countdown until finals night, which was kind of scary, but we made it work. Now, I placed prelims here because when you break the top 12, on-stage question is a little different. I'm assuming that it's not just community service initiative. You might be asked about current events. I know in Texas, could be different, but in Texas, your top 12 on-stage question is like, how do you feel about rising gas prices? Or, should there be a wall? Literally my question 2 years ago when I was Miss Dallas was like, do you think we should build a wall? I was like, no. So anyways, that's it for this episode. I hope you learned a little bit about the general overview of the categories of competition. I know it seems kind of overwhelming, looks like a lot, but hey, you are gonna practice your talent. It's the same every night. You can prepare for interview, which I will teach you in another episode, and just have fun with it. Don't overthink it, and don't get too into the weeds of how the scoring works, right? Especially if it's your first year, just go and have fun. I will see you in the next episode where I will dive into detail of private interview. Bye!